Okay. Oh, of course there's another crime. There's always another crime in New York City, you know? It's insane. Fucking rock out with my cock out, you know?
Demons are getting more and more brutal. I can't believe Martin Lee is really behind all this.
Did I already complete this one? No. The only reason I'm doing this, I'm trying to progress in terms of the suit progression, because cool thing about this game is tons of suits, right? So, tons of suits, you know? Too many, some people may say.
Police look like they could use some help.
It was a good choice of not including the symbiote suit, because they want to give the symbiote suit its own game, and it's probably going to be in Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is going to be interesting because I don't think Miles should be the main character. Playing Miles Morales proved to me that, yeah, he is a good character, and yeah, it was a good game, but I'd rather play this. I'd just rather play this.
Thanks for the assist.
Okay, Peter Parker is my Spider-Man.
There's probably more of them inside. You guys stay.
If you don't believe me, go play Miles Morales right now. It's okay.
Somebody was in a hurry.
Peter plays better. I like hearing Peter's voice more because Peter Parker is my
But you gotta
Spider-Man.
find Mr. Standish, fast. Those guys in the masks kidnapped him and forced him up to his place. He lives in the penthouse, top floor.
Okay, sit tight. So glad you're here. Can't find my car. Could have sworn I parked on this level.
not only did I grow up with Peter Parker, but Peter Parker happens to be one of my favorite characters. And Miles isn't even my favorite alternate Peter. I mean, alternate Spider-Man other than normal Peter Parker. My two other favorite Spider-Mans are Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Noir. Even then, I like Ben O'Reilly more than Miles. Miles, he's good. Yeah, he's a good character, but you know.
Wait, you guys work here too? This building is serious about parking enforcement. Good fight. A for effort. Elevator won't work. They know I'm here. But maybe I can sneak up through the elevator shaft. Should be able to make it up to the penthouse from here. Okay, almost there. Stay out of the light. Nice and easy. Tall building. Fire bombs? Seriously? Move! Uh-oh! Not good. There's Standish.
Okay, now what?
Enter your password.
He sounds nervous. Maybe I should take him out.
Watchmaker's son.
Need to clear the room before I talk to Standish. Sleep it off.
Now we have to have some real fun. Oh my lord. She's not. They should make a Watchmen video. No, I shouldn't say that.
Looks
If
like
they
I'm
made
clear.
if they made a Watchmen video game, then you just play as Dr. Manhattan and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Nap time. Okay, all clear. Hope Standish is all right.
We've already dealt with the swordsman, so maybe this is just... No, we've already dealt with swordsmen, right? That's the weird part about this level, is we've already dealt with the swordsman, right? So we're gonna have to throw some projectiles at him, because otherwise it's just not gonna work. Otherwise, it's just... Need to get a couple parry attacks so we can get our health back up. Just flying all over the fucking room. Yeah, he fucking toasted me, bro. What the fuck? This is more difficult than the fucking big dudes. Is the fucking demon swordsman. Jesus Christ! Calm the fuck down!
Let's try this again. It's safe now. What were they after?
Just financial records.
About Devil's Breath?
How do you know about that?
Why do they want it?
I don't even know what it is. Mr. Osborn's been pouring money into it for years, but he keeps the whole project a secret. I'm the only one who has any record of it.
Not anymore. Looks like they copied some records to a secure server. Payroll information. On a Dr. Isaac Delaney. Who is he?
I honestly don't know.
Down!
This dude's like the CFO of Oscorp and he doesn't know shit. That's not realistic at all.
Come on, come on!
Dude. I gotta tell y'all, you know.
Wait, the elevator! Hold on! You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. Good. You know, as elevator shafts go, this is pretty nice. Hey, Yuri.
Peter, what happened with Standish?
He's safe.
Okay, good. And the demons?
They were looking for a name. You got a pen?
Yeah, go.
Dr. Isaac Delaney.
Okay. Who is he? What's his deal?
I was hoping you could tell me.
I'm on it. Just give me a few. Oh, and before I forget, you left that tracker from Tombstones at my place. I'll drop it at Dr. Octavius's lab. Let you know what I find on Delaney.
We're gonna go ahead and do a fucking, one of the science quest things. We only have, oh, we have 3 skill points, not bad. Once you get, like, all the gadgets, and you get all the skills,
It's not like okay, the people in the top floor apartments are really annoyed with you right now.
oh, if that was just at a different, like,
Message from Doc.
fucking angle.
Sorry to call so late. My mind's bursting with ideas. We've been thinking too small, Peter. Why replace missing limbs with facsimiles when we can improve upon them? People who lost an arm understandably want it back, but we can give them something better. The human body doesn't need to be our default. We can go so far beyond it. Just some thoughts to conjure with.
Doc's really giving it both barrels.
Well, that's all great, Doc, but, like, do you have, like, the science and the, like, technical aspect to back that up? Because all that sounds all great on paper.
Hey, do you have time to check something out for me?
No, but if you ask nicely.
Just got a call about a suspicious-looking box on a rooftop in Hell's Kitchen. I could call in the bomb squad, but if it's just some kid's science project...
Yeah, I know. Budget crisis. Yada, yada, yada. So?
Will you please check it out?
There's the magic word. I hope it's some kid's science project. Man, I miss those days. School projects are so much...
So this is our
military
introduction to Taskmaster.
Spider-Man, so you found one of my recon points.
Who is this?
Wrong question. The correct one is, can you stop the bombs I've planted?
Mystery Man's got recon points spread all over the city. This
My
computer's tracking bombs throughout the
absolute
district, and they're
favorite
about to
boss
go off.
battle in
I
the
gotta move.
entire game is Taskmaster. So you gotta beat, like, you have to do all the Taskmaster things. You gotta do the stealth missions, the
hurry and
bomb
defuse
missions,
those
which we're doing
bombs.
right now, and the combat missions. And then while you're randomly just chilling out in the city doing your thing as Spider-Man, they will fucking just, like, Taskmaster will just attack you at a moment's notice. And whenever I know that Taskmaster might, like, attack me, I usually go to Avengers Tower, which is in this game. The Avengers exist in this universe. And we'll fight on Avengers Tower, and it'll be pretty cool. Another thing, speaking of Avengers Tower, that game... I could stream that game, I own that game. I bought the fucking collector's edition of that game. But if you guys know anything, that game kind of sucks. Like, a lot. The Avengers game just didn't do well. They're still losing money for that game. Literally. 95%. They said 95% of the player base is gone. So yeah, they're losing a lot of money on that game.
10 seconds.
Mostly just because it's not free roam at all, and wow, that I actually did terrible on that.
Bombs, but you leaned into your throat too much.
No, I did terrible on that. The timing was
Some kind of
awful.
sick game to you?
Games are for kids, and I'm a professional. And
I'm a professional.
Guess
And
your
by the
client
way, it
wasted
says
their money.
unknown. That's Taskmaster.
information's worth more
The whole thing with Taskmaster is that like he's an assassin in the Marvel universe, and he
MJ,
he
what
can
did you find out about
duplicate, he
Isaac
can
Delaney?
scan anyone's like abilities, not necessarily
What is Delaney?
abilities,
I don't know.
but
We'll have to go to the party to find out.
Good thing
not
I already have a
abilities, but their fighting style. So let's say Taskmaster is fighting Spider-Man. He can, you know, kind of replicate the agility, kind of off-the-wall combat that Spider-Man does. Or if he's fighting Cap, he can kind of replicate Cap's
Position, if I do say so
kind of brawler, like judo type combat that he implements. Or if he's fighting Wolverine, he can have that kind of savagery. Although if Taskmaster's fighting Wolverine, he's fucked because Wolverine's just gonna chop that motherfucker up. Like fighting Spider-Man's one thing, fighting Captain America is one thing, but fighting
Drug trade's gotten more aggressive.
Wolverine is another.
Gotta stomp that out.
You know what I'm
Gotta be
saying?
honest, not a fan of
Wolverine's
Big
very
Pharma,
powerful.
especially in back alley Big Pharma.
Especially since he can't die.
Not how I thought today was
You
gonna
know?
go.
Well, he can. He has. There's actually a story called The Death of Wolverine. And the way they kill him is that they suffocate him by implementing adamantium, which is the metal that that's in his bones. That's his claws are made out of. Vibranium is the metal that T'Challa's, you know, the Black Panther, like Wakanda stockpiled it, and of course Cap's shield is made out of it. But that was easy. Say, look, that's Avengers Tower right there. And we have the punk rock suit on right now. Let's see if we okay, so this is the Fear Itself suit, which the Fear Itself was a weird event that came out like in 2010. It was like a Thor thing, but and then this is the wrestler suit. So this is the suit that Peter wore when he you know, if you've seen the Sam Raimi movie, you know. It's the suit he wears before he actually becomes Spider-Man fully as a crime fighter. So we have 33% of the suits, which we have a shit ton of to go through. But these are all the suits that were given to us by updates. So we got the Sam Raimi suit, Future Foundation, Bombastic Batman, Future Foundation. This is the suit from Far From Home. This is the other suit from Far From Home, the stealth suit. This is the suit from the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man games. This is a new suit. This looks fucking weird. And then the armor, the advanced suit, but it's like the armored advanced suit. It looks pretty good, I think. See if we can upgrade any of the gadgets. Yeah, we actually can. Ooh, we got an achievement.
Gotta split before the cops get here. Never know how they'll react to me.
So we get to go to. This is one of my favorite missions that we're about to go on right now. Is the where we go to ESU, which is actually where Peter got his doctorate. His PhD. Either he got a PhD or a master's. I believe he either physics or robotics or something like that. Something scientific, obviously, because Peter is a scientist. Hell's Kitchen, man. There's a couple Daredevil references, which is cool. I'm a huge Daredevil fan. They just announced that they're gonna have a new Daredevil in the books. Also, great show. I recommend anyone who has not seen the Daredevil show to watch it. Let's change the costumes, because I'm kind of getting tired of this one. Oh my god. We have this one we haven't bought. A couple we haven't bought. Let's go with... we'll go with the Andrew Garfield costume, because I like it. And then we'll do Electric Punch. Just to speed up the process. I mean, if you play this game, and you continually play this game, you're not gonna be able to go through the main mission without the main story, without doing like 100 fucking crime missions. Oh shit, my battery's low. I gotta charge it, which I can just charge it right now. And there you go.
Knocking the ever-loving stuffing out of dealers is my anti-drug.
Okay. I love web slinging in this game. It's fucking amazing. But what I was saying before was, I prefer Peter over Miles. I'm pretty sure that's most people's thing. And I haven't even finished.
Peter, I spoke to Miles's mother, and she loved the
Oh,
idea of him
that's what I was
working
going to talk about. Speaking of Miles,
grieving herself while
you
trying to
know,
be strong for her son. She
y'all have played or heard, obviously, of the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. It's a fucking bona fide DLC. And it proves to me that... Because, yeah, okay, gameplay is one thing. But the reason I play these games is because I love comic books. I love superheroes. I love the story. This game has a great story. That game doesn't. The fucking main villain is the fucking Tinkerer. The fucking Tinkerer? Are you fucking kidding me? The Tinkerer is one of the most fucking... You know who the Tinkerer is in the fucking comic books? All the Tinkerer is he takes, like, broken shitty tech and makes cool gadgets out of that. And he sells it to fucking arms dealers and supervillains in New York City. It's fucking... I don't know. It's just, for me, Peter Parker is my Spider-Man. And it's not even that he's my Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Period. And what I was going to say was... is Miles Morales does not have a big enough mythology to have an entire game around him. Okay, yeah, that's great. He get punched with electricity and turn invisible. That's awesome. But Peter's still gonna be better because he's more experienced. You know? But what is sad? What I was just saying, or am I sad? I don't.
Excuse me.
And for the second game. And for the second game, we haven't even touched the surface of Spider-Man villains, right? So, not including the main villains of the next game, which is indefinitely going to be the Green Goblin and Venom, right?
Hey, what's wrong with you? I worked on that helmet for a week.
That's no brainer. That's gonna happen, right?
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But in terms of, like, yeah, it was, and so for like the second game, you could introduce, well, we just faced the fake Mysterio. You can introduce Mysterio. You can introduce the Lizard. You can introduce Kraven the Hunter. And of course you can introduce Sandman, right? Those are 4 villains that can have side missions or be just villains featured in the game. Kraven's one that comes to mind that would be really fun. Others, you get the Chameleon would be cool. Carnage maybe for the third game. I don't know about that one. I'm thinking, but there's tons of Spider-Man villains because they already use the Vulture and Rhino and all those guys in this one.
I think he's on the dance floor.
But let me look. I got a Spider-Man omnibus right here, right next to me. So looking at it, there's plenty of other villains. The Hobgoblin would be very cool. I'm actually a big fan of the Hobgoblin. Maybe they could do the Hobgoblin for the third game because it would be really weird to have the two big goblins and the but yeah.
Look, it's Spider-Boy. Since some of your nemesises, we gotta fight.
Maybe later.
Oh, what's the matter, Spider-Wimp? You afraid of my mighty horn?
Hey, what are you? Come on! Hey, fight! Kick his ass, Spider-Man!
You want to talk about cash grab?
What the hell? Oh, snap! Oh my god! What do you want?
But like I said, Miles Morales does not have he doesn't have enough of his own villains or anything to have his own game.
This is a joke, right? Those aren't real guns.
Back now.
Let him go!
And because,
keep your head down.
like the one really interesting character that they introduced in the Miles Morales game was the Prowler, but like when your main villain is the fucking Tinkerer, there's a problem. Miles works when fucking Peter's dead. You seen the Spider-Verse movie, you read the Ultimate comics. It works when he's dead, but when Peter is alive, especially because I feel like the fucking Miles game fucking disrespects Peter hard.
Good. Happy Halloween.
Fucking Peter needs help taking out Rhino by Peter in the first fucking mission. Like, dude, come on.
How about some mood lighting?
Like, Peter doesn't need Miles' help. And yeah, the Venom punch and all that different shit. For one, they didn't even explain in the game why he has different powers. Like, I've been a Spider-Man fan before fucking Miles was even created. I'm old school, motherfucker. There were movies of Spider-Man created before Miles was even a thing. Miles is relatively new to the whole Spider-Man mythology, to be completely honest with y'all.
There's Dr. Delaney.
I don't know, man. The Miles Morales hype train is crazy. I never thought this character would be this acclaimed, you know? It's a weird thing to think about.
Who are you? You recently began working with someone in an Oscorp lab.
How do you know that?
We don't have much time, Isaac. Tell me his name.
Show's over, Lee.
I mean, the biggest fucking thing about the Miles game is that fucking meme. And if you have been on the internet in the last, like, 2 months, you know what meme I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But, I don't know. I played the Miles game. I'm not even finished the Miles game. I'd rather play this than the Miles game. And this game doesn't even have the Venom Punch or the camouflage, and that shit doesn't help. Peter has more gadgets, Peter has more costumes, Peter has more experience. Peter's a better character. You know, like I said, I was a Spider-Man fan before fucking Miles Morales was created. Miles was created in like 2010, dog. You know? And, he was created in the Ultimate Comics. And yeah, he's a cool character. It doesn't suck, you know? It doesn't suck at all. It's not bad, you know? It's a good game. But it's, for one, it's almost exactly the fucking same. Besides the Venom Punch. 2, I'll give them this. They made it to where they swing differently. They do swing differently. And they swing differently. I'd rather swing as Peter, because if you play the Miles game, you notice that he's inexperienced. So he's not going to swing as good. So he swings like he's fucking, you know, like he's half fucking, you know, asleep or something. But it's not a lot of content. There's not a lot of villains. That's the thing. This game, you know, you get Mr. Negative. You get the introduction of Doc Ock, right? You have the Sinister Six, you know, including those two. You got Scorpion, and you got Rhino, and you have Electro and Vulture, right? And who else? Fuck, I'm stupid. Vulture, Electro, Rhino, and Scorpion. Yeah, Vulture, Electro, Rhino, and Scorpion. And then to top that all off, oh, I just messed up because I'm talking. But to top that all off, you get the Kingpin. You get Taskmaster, right? You get Taskmaster in the game. You get Tombstone. And you get Shocker. So you get plenty of villains, you know what I'm saying? And guess what you get in the Miles game? You get the Prowler, and you get the fucking Tinkerer. The Tinkerer. The Tinkerer is the main villain. A fucking D-tier villain is the main villain. It's fucking sad, dude. I don't know how this second game's gonna work. I'm thinking, obviously, they already set up the seeds for both Venom and the Green Goblin. Green Goblin I'm excited for because Green Goblin is my all-time favorite Spider-Man villain. I think he's most people's all-time favorite Spider-Man villain, to be honest with you, because you're either a Doc Ock guy or you're a fucking Green Goblin guy, and I'm a Doc Ock guy. Because Doc Ock has fucking constantly tortured Spider-Man and made him a better superhero. And I appreciate that. Not to mention he's a great character, and Norman Osborn has been the leading villain in so many Marvel events.
Yuri, I need your help.
Doc Ock is a great villain, but, you know, one of Doc Ock's biggest things in the comics was he was trying to fuck Aunt May. That was some of the first Doc Ock stories, was him trying to marry Aunt May, dude. It's weird. But, like I said, I could play the Miles game right now. I have it. You know, I put a couple hours into it. It's good. Another thing, they disrespect Peter. They disrespect Peter by saying, "Oh, he couldn't take on Rhino without Miles." I don't know, man. It's just.
I have an idea on how
It's like you play a Batman Arkham game, and they fucking make like Jason Todd Batman or something. It's weird, you know. And, you know, because of the Spider-Verse movie, which I love, you know, Miles is very popular now. And that's great, you know. But, you know, Miles is a Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. The Spider-Man. It's kind of like how Barry Allen's Flash, right? You know, Hal Jordan is Green Lantern. Yeah, there's other Green Lanterns, but Hal Jordan is like the Green Lantern when you say Green Lantern. You know, there's plenty of other Spider-Mans. And Miles isn't even my favorite alternate Spider-Man character. That would have to go to Spider-Man 2099 or Spider-Man Noir. Those are characters who deserve their own game. I mean, technically they do, because if you've played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. But this game, you know, I still give this game credit.
Can't get in there without shutting down some security systems.
Yeah, the gameplay is the exact same.
They'll put the whole place on lockdown.
Like to understand the story beats, it's like literally the villains you're facing in that game is like a tech terrorist group, and they're fighting over this thing called New Form, which is like a new source of energy that's really corrupt or something. Like it's stupid. In this game, it's like, you know, you're fighting against the fucking demons, dude, and the demons are badass. And then you're facing against the Sinister Six, and you know, you see later in the game they break out all the fucking Raft inmates, and shit's getting bad, and the city's infiltrated by all the different criminals that Peter Parker, in his 8 years of being Spider-Man, all the criminals that he had to put up with, now they're all released throughout the city. Like, that's huge. That's a you know, that's something, you know, that's a plot that I can get down with. And with Miles, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Wait, what am I doing? There we go. But yeah, it's not the worst game, you know, there's obviously worse games. But I'm going to get a PS5, but there's no reason that you should buy a PS5 just so you can play Miles Morales on the PS5, right? You can just play it on the PS4, and it's a $50 game, and it's essentially a fucking DLC. And I like the DLC in this game more than I like that game itself. And the DLC in this game is kind of stupid bullshit too, because guess who's the main villain of the DLC in this game? Freaking Hammerhead. Hammerhead is the fucking villain of the DLC. I don't know if y'all know this, but Hammerhead's not that great of a villain. You know, the DLC, they could have used Sandman, Mysterio, the Lizard, any one of those guys.
Hi, MJ. A little busy right now.
Especially like Mysterio. Mysterio would be fun, right? If you've seen Spider-Man Far From Home, or you know anything about Mysterio, you know Mysterio's a ton of fun. He's kind of like Spider-Man's Scarecrow, if you will, with all the hallucinations.
Now I can get into Norman's office and
I mean, at
find
least
out
the
more
first
about
part of the
Morgan
deal.
Michaels and Devil's Breath.
Oh, we're gonna get a legit sequel because the first game made so much goddamn money, and the game that we just got made so much damn money. We're gonna get a true sequel, and either it's gonna be fully Peter or it's gonna be like a dual play Miles Peter thing that they did, like Arkham Knight, where you play as two characters as once, right? Like you're playing as Nightwing while you're playing as Batman, that kind of thing.
Neo statue. What are you talking about?
The Neo statue from the auction house. They must be talking
You know,
about that file MJ found. Jackpot.
And another thing I'll say, and I got this from a review of the game by a channel I actually like a lot. It's called Geekvolution, but they said the Spider-Man that we see in this game hasn't faced that much challenge, hasn't faced shit because he hasn't faced Doc Ock or Green Goblin yet. And I kind of agree with that, because those two villains are the two villains that put him through the most. Spider-Man fighting Electro.
Designed to cure diseases.
Once Spider-Man figures out how to defeat Electro, it's over. With Green Goblin, there's no like specific way to defeat Green Goblin. Especially since when Green Goblin and Spider-Man fight, it's an emotional fight.
We find Devil's Breath.
You know? Especially since, you know, Green Goblin killed his girlfriend and shit. You know. Months after he banged his girlfriend. It's a long history with those two. You know, Spider-Man's not going to face a challenge fucking fighting the Vulture, dude. That's not a challenge for him. But...
MJ, get this.
Oh, she's whispering. You know what that means? The worst part about this game, and I'll give the Miles Morales game this. You did not have to play as anyone other than Spider-Man, right? There's sections of this game where you have to play as fucking Mary Jane, bro. It's stupid.
It'll be Oscorp CFO. I'm trying to reach him now.
Oh god.
That place is crawling with guards.
Please don't tell me.
Very, very quietly. Gotta go, partner.
Sneaking into a Sable compound.
Oh god, we're gonna have to play as MJ. Oh my god, these stupid fucking stealth missions are so annoying. Where's the crime?
Officers near Devil's Shelf. Please report to the scene.
No. That's the worst part about this game, is the MJ parts.
Peter, I've had an epiphany. It's all about the mind.
Also, it's pretty obvious that when you're playing this game, it's pretty obvious that Doc Ock's gonna be the villain. Like, who else is gonna be the villain? Right? They had a nice job hiding the fact that that he was in the game.
I've never heard Doc this excited by a project. Hope he's not too excited.
Oh my god, let's go pick up this backpack. We might as well do something before we go, you know, waste like 10 minutes doing this stupid side quest thing.
MJ wrote this article in the school paper about student protests. She was a heck...
I love how, like, they turned MJ into Lois Lane in this fucking game, but she's never been a reporter in any of the comic books. It's kind of hilarious, actually. It's like every girlfriend of a superhero has to be a fucking reporter. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm not with those guys, but I'm still gonna kick your butts.
I mean, the Arkham games just kept giving us sequels. They didn't give us fucking spin-offs. You know? I just watched the Angry Joe review today. He gave it a 7 out of 10. I'm like, yeah, fucking right. It's not a bad game at all. But it's not perfect. It's certainly not as good as this game. Especially since there's a lot of lack of content. One of the biggest gimmicks of that game is a fucking app that lets people request help from Spider-Man. And it's just like, oh, now there's 2 Spider-Mans. Like,
Demons are getting bold.
and Miles, in every second they gotta say, Miles, you're Spider-Man. You have to become your own Spider-Man. And it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, dude. You're not gonna be the Spider-Man. Because there's already a Spider-Man. And he's been around for 8 years in this universe, so suck my nuts. Oh my god. That was exhausting. But yeah, good game. But it has its problems. Oh, we got another crime, boys. I think this is the museum that the DLC takes place in.
Okay, the people in the top floor apartments are really annoyed with you right now.
Come on. Oh. Let's see what we can do here.